Good evening, mates. My name is Jack Williams, everyone's favourite Australian news anchor. Today, an unfortunate event has taken place. Former President Andrew Jackson has passed away in his home earlier today. His cause of death is currently unknown. In commemoration of the late former president, we've taken a random man off the street to talk to you about Mr. Jackson. Let's head over there now. Are we on? Oh, sorry. Andrew Jackson was a great man. In my opinion, he was the best president who's ever lived. Even after he left office, I still told myself he was president, just because of all the great things he did. Anyways, back when Andrew Jackson was born on March 15th, 1767, his family was already in poverty. Throughout his childhood, Jackson never received any formal schooling. When the British invaded the Carolinas, where he was living in 1780 to 81, his family was slaughtered, orphaning him. Later on, Jackson grew an interest in law. He moved to Tennessee and tried to become a lawyer, as well as a farmer. Eventually, he got enough money to build a mansion and purchase slaves. The War of 1812 was the first place where Jackson became famous. He stomped the damn British in New Orleans, winning us the war and sending the Redcoats running down to the Gulf. Good times. When Jackson ran in the election of 1824, he was very popular among men like me. The common man is the phrase I hear. But some political shenanigans happened, and the vote was sent to the House, where Quincy Adams and Clay made a deal. A very corrupt deal, in my opinion. Adams won the presidency, even though Andrew Jackson got the majority of the vote. After 4 years of Quincy Adams in 1828, another election was held with the dreaded Adams of the Democratic-Republican Party running against Jackson in the new Jacksonian Democratic Party. Jackson won this election with 56% of the popular vote, the vote men like me get a say in, and about 66% of the electoral vote. About 10,000 people, including myself, went to Jackson's inauguration. We partied on the lawn and overall caused chaos. It was a great time, and I had a lot of fun, but I guess Jackson didn't since he moved his speech to the Capitol after everyone showed up. Anyways, as president, Jackson did many great things for our country. He was vicious against the Indians and kicked out those barbarians with the Indian Removal Act and the March to the Oklahoma Territory. Even though that Indian lover Marshall voted in favor of the savages in the Supreme Court, Jackson understood that the verdict was untrue and moved the Indians anyways. Good man, I tell you. There was one thing that I didn't like about Jackson, though, and that was the tariff of abominations he wouldn't get rid of. My home state, South Carolina, threatened to nullify the law and secede, but Jackson forced us to comply with military power. Too bad he just didn't get rid of the tax. Luckily, the situation with the tariff was overshadowed by Jackson getting rid of the National Bank in '33, since it was giving unfair treatment to the middle class like me. I just wish the state banks would have been competent enough to keep inflation from rising, but we've gotten past that so far. Even though Jackson wasn't president in '37, I still think of Jackson when someone brings up the panic. I lost some of my land, but I pumped up production with my remaining slaves and managed to ride the wave somewhat. Andrew Jackson passed away. Andrew Jackson passed away on this day in June 1845. He passed away in his home and was surrounded by his family. To summarize, Andrew Jackson was, in my opinion, the strongest and best president America has ever had. His policies against the Indians and his support for the common man really resonated with me. I hope we can vote in another man like Jackson into office soon, instead of this John Tyler guy we have now. Wow, that was very interesting. Well, that's about all for former President Andrew Jackson. We're ending our broadcast day for today. I've been Jack Williams. Thank you for viewing, and have a pleasant night.